Hello everyone, this is Code2J. Today I'm going to explain the Apache Airflow's task lifecycle and its basic architecture. By watching this video, you can understand what kinds of stages a task will go through from start to completion, what are the essential components of its architecture, and how they communicate with each other. In the end, you will have a deeper understanding of how Airflow works. Sounds exciting? Let's get started. When a deck run is triggered, its tasks are going to be executed one after another according to their dependencies. Each task will go through different stages from start to completion. Every stage indicates a specific status of the task instance. For example, when the task is in progress, its status is running. When the task has been finished flawlessly, it has a success status, and so on. There are in total 11 different kinds of stages. In Airflow UI, graph and tree views, these stages are displayed by a color represents each stage. In the early phase, a task might go through from no status to queued. After that, a task will be at the execution phase, from running to success. If the task fails, it will be directed into up for retrial, upstream failed, or up for reschedule. And during the task lifecycle, if we manually abort or skip it, the task will be in a status of shutdown or skipped accordingly. Let's have a closer look and explain each of them in the task lifecycle diagram. As I just said, a task is usually starting with no status, which means the scheduler creates an empty task instance. After that, there are 4 different stages that the task can be moved on. They are scheduled, removed, upstream failed, or skipped. Scheduled means that the scheduler determined task instance needs to be run. Upstream failed once the task's upstream task failed. Skipped if the task is skipped, or removed when the task has been removed. If the task is lucky enough to be scheduled, then the executor kicks in, which puts the task into the task queue, and the task's status changes to queued. After that, the worker will execute the task once it is free. Free means the worker's computation resources are not fully occupied. At this stage, the task's status is running. Based on the execution results, there will be 3 possible stages: success, failed, or shutdown, which is very straightforward. Success means the tasks complete flawlessly. Failed means the task fails, and shutdown if the task run has been aborted. In the case of the task in stages failed or shut down, if the maximum retry is not exceeded, the task will be forwarded to up for retrial stage, which means the task will be scheduled and rerun after a certain waiting time. In some specific cases, a task in the running stage can also be directed in the up for rescheduled stage, which means the task will be rescheduled every certain time interval. A simple example for this use case would be that you will never move forward the task unless a file has been saved in a S3 bucket. So you want to check the file's existence every 10 seconds, for instance, using a censored task. To sum up, a happy workflow execution process will be starting with no status, then the scheduler scheduled the task, after which the executor puts the task into the task queue. Once the worker picks up the task and executed it flawlessly, we will receive a happy task process. Okay, We now understand the complete life cycle of the task of Airflow. Let's dive into the basic architecture of the Airflow. We have mentioned lots of components in the previous videos when we talk about Airflow, and you can also find such a diagram on the Airflow official documentation site. On the diagram, you can see things like the data engineer, web server, scheduler, worker, DAX, and etc. What is the responsibility of each one, and how do they actually work together? First of all, we need someone called data engineer like you to start building and monitoring all the ETL process. Data engineers have to configure the Airflow setup, like the type of executor, which database to use, and etc. Data engineers create and manage the DAX they authored through the Airflow user interface, which is supported by the web server. In addition to that, the DAX are also visible to the scheduler and workers, which change the task's status during the whole task lifecycle. Apart from that, there's a component called executor. In order to persistent the update and retrieve the info of the DAX, those four components are connected to the database closely. There are a variety of database engines you can choose, like MySQL, Postgres. That's it. This is the basic architecture of the Apache Airflow and how the most essential components work together. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe and click the like button. If you have any questions, feel free to write in the comment section. And last but not least, which Airflow topics do you want to see in the next video? Please share it in the comment section. I will talk to you in the next one. Bye bye.